Okay.
All right.
All right. Sure.
Dude, what a cold open.
Oh man.
Let's get some of those kinks
Just
out.
loosen up, guys.
Yeah.
Get into this show. Just three grown men in a living room doing a podcast together.
Oh, it's the best.
And
I love it.
wiggling.
Chroma, Chris, and Joelberg are on the show today. Could not be more excited to have them on Jeremiah Wonders. What's up, boys? How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Dude, so freaking happy to be here.
You know, I'm excited to have both of you on. We get to do a little Kill Tony band action today, and I think people are probably going to hear Chroma Chris talk the most that they ever have before, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
The whole
Yeah.
podcast. Sure. Yep. You got it. So first, I think a lot of people were wondering kind of how we all came to know each other. I guess we'll kind of start there because a lot of the way that we are now a band is kind of a strange happening, but it's all due because of our boy Pat Reagan.
Yeah. Actually, I moved out to LA like 5 years ago, and just seeing Pat at like open mics, being like the weird guy, and playing guitar, which is also kind of what I was doing. I was playing guitar and everything too. Kind of got to know him a little bit from there, and then it turns out we actually lived like 2 buildings down from each other, and I just saw him at an intersection one day, and Pat's just a weird guy, and he rolls down his window because he recognized me, and he was like, "Do you know anybody who plays bass?" And I was like, "Yeah, I play bass." And so then he just like, I think he shot me a message on like Facebook or something, and that's how we kind of like got each other's numbers and hooked up and started playing together. So
Heck yeah.
Dude, I met him at an intersection too, dude. He rolled down his window. He's like, "Do you know anybody that plays drums?"
Oh, that's the whole
that's
thing.
it. All right.
Yeah, that was it. Have you ever talked about how you met Pat, Jeremiah?
Yeah,
I think-
on Pat's on Pat's episode whenever I had him on, but I just met Pat through the open mic scene whenever he was before he even was using guitar. And in
Wow.
fact, he was just doing one-liners and
Okay.
stuff.
Was he jingling coins in that thing yet?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
okay.
That was that evolved. Yeah, so Pat was originally he was just him on guitar in the corner. He was like the band on Kill Tony. And then he brought me in because we had started to do like some Reagan and Watkins stuff together. And then after we had been doing that for a while, we had Joel come in on drums. And then after a while, we're like, well, we should add a bass to this band as well. So then Chris came in. And then it's just one of those things where Pat like just kept bringing people in. But I knew... Chris, I knew you and Zane before that, but I met you guys through Pat. The first time I met you guys was we did your show, I think maybe at Silver Lake Lounge or one of those kind of shows or something like that.
Oh yeah. We used to do a show. It was like a monthly show. It was called the Sexy Tornado Show, and it was like comedy and burlesque and music and stuff like that. And yeah, we had you guys on, and I think you probably crushed it to all probably like 10 people that came to that show.
Yeah. It was good times.
It was a fun show, man. I used to love doing that.
Yeah, they were. And then and Joel, how do you know Chris, or how did you meet Chris?
I don't really remember exactly. Maybe.
I think it was just through the lounge. Through
Yeah,
the Silver
probably.
Lake
So
Lounge
so
open
yeah,
mic.
going to open mics at the Silver Lake Lounge. I think we all used to just hang out there on Sundays.
If I remember, like I remember seeing you around, but then I didn't actually start like talking to you, really like knowing who you were until like you were drumming with Pat.
You know what? Yeah, somebody was like, our friend from Oklahoma's moving. He plays bass. I think we like had heard about you before you even moved here. And then you got here and I was like, "Oh, you're the guy." And then you got in Baby Boys, right? For a
Oh,
while.
I have no idea if that's how that went.
I don't know. I
but,
might have just made that up actually.
probably.
But it sounds but I do remember when you guys were I forgot which friend I met, but one of your friends was like, yeah, our buddy.
Probably Zach. You were friends with
That's
Zach.
right. Yeah. That's it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So glad we figured that out.
That makes sense.
But we've all been playing in different variations of bands now for a while, because you guys have been playing with Pat's band, Pat Reagan and the Baby Boys,
Yeah.
for a few years now, and you guys are actually a part of the Reagan and Watkins album that is
Heck
coming
yeah,
out.
dude. Can't wait.
Very excited for people to hear Chroma Chris on that sweet, sweet bass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I did some bass licks.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Some
These bass licks.
some chili peppers licks were
Oh, yeah.
may have been thrown in.
Did I ever did I ever say how I got into Kill Tony?
No, I don't think so. Maybe we covered it
Okay.
on the last episode.
Maybe.
But how exactly?
Quick.
Yeah,
So I would just see Pat at open mics forever, and one day I saw him and I was like, hey, I hear drums to your songs, and if you ever need a drummer, call me up. And like almost exactly a year later, he called me, said they were rehearsing at noon, went there, like played drums for them, joined that band, did a record, all that stuff with the Baby Boys, and then he had like a great set at Roast Battle or something. Tony got a hold of his CD, asked him to be the band leader. But I never had a drum kit small enough to fit upstairs. So I was at a thrift store and I found a little kid's bass drum for like $30. I bought it and I was like, hey, I got a bass drum small enough to fit up there, and I went up and like never left.
Nice. And it took a while before you had your own mic, Joel, on the show, if people recall, because you used to run up and because Pat and I already shared a mic. Chris and I share a mic on the show currently, but Pat and I used to share a mic, but then Joel would run from behind his little tiny drum set up and be like, I got one, guys. And then he would throw that joke in.
Dude, I would sometimes whisper stuff to Pat and he would do it, but sometimes it wouldn't work because it wasn't his voice, kind of.
That makes sense.
One day he just goes, you should say it. And I said it, and then that was it. And you know me, I can't shut up. It's like 2 years later, and I'm still blabbing and gabbing.
Well, and then we moved to the main room, and you had a mic set up.
Yeah, episode
How did that
200.
feel?
It was great. It was an honor, actually, to get a microphone, finally.
Chris, we'll get into some of those questions later about you possibly having a mic.
Wait, what?
People are asking about it. I'll get into it later in the show.
Oh, I can't wait.
But we'll see. There's some pretty extensive questions that were asked. But Chris, I think a lot of people, which I'm curious about, like a lot of people don't know, like you were in the military. A lot of people don't know about that. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit? Like how you got involved, like after high school or whatever?
Well, yeah, I just, so I tend not to talk about it too much, because I don't like being known as like, hey, you were the guy in the military, or you're like,
Right.
like, hey, you're the comic in the military. So I tend to kind of keep it under wraps, but yeah, I was in for like 6.5 years, and then got out and moved out here. So I was in the Marine Corps. So
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
yeah,
You still are, right?
do
They
what?
say once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yes.
You can't say like you're ex-military, right? 'Cause-
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's the Blockbuster video slogan. That's not the Marine slogan.
Gotcha.
Once a Blockbuster employee, always a Blockbuster
I was a
employee.
Blockbuster employee
Were
when
you?
I was when I was 18. You had
Were
to be
you
18,
really?
yeah, so that you could watch all the rated R movies.
Wow. Did you cop like all those? Did you like be like, yep, gonna bring this home and this home?
Yeah, and then we also got to watch get the movies like a week before that they came out.
Oh, I bet you were the
I
coolest
was
guy.
I was the cool guy in high school. I kid you not. People were like, "Whoa, you make $6.10 an hour?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And I get movies a week before they came out on DVD.
Wow, dude, I think one of the girls from your high school is actually calling into the show right now, dude. Hello? Is this what does that say on the caller ID? Tiffany? Do you know a Tiffany?
Yeah, and I think so. Sounds familiar. Hello, Tiffany?
Is this Chris Dillon?
Yes.
Hey, just want to check back in with you. Are we ever gonna watch Tremors together or what?
Well, you had to trim first, and then we could watch Tremors.
Oh, I see what you
That
did
was
there.
that was the deal.
Oh, wait. So whenever you message me on Instant Messenger, you're telling me to trim my pubic hair and then we
Yes.
could watch movies together?
Yes, I wasn't saying specifically we'll watch Trimmers.
Okay, wow. I'm finding this out way too many years later. I've had a giant bush forever.
I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, is that what I can't believe, is that why you stayed away from me for all these years?
Well, Chris, you're older now. I'm sure you're okay with a little bit of the. You probably like a little bit of bush now, right?
You think I've matured into Bush?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, I'm still here. Oh, are we gonna watch any movies? Can we meet at the Blockbuster?
Yes, if you would like to meet me at that Blockbuster in Choctaw, Oklahoma.
Okay, wait, I'm actually standing outside now. It's burned down.
Oh man, would you imagine?
Wait, are you trying to catfish me, Chris?
No. I just
First
didn't
you
know
tell
it
me
was
I'm not
gone.
good enough with my pubic hair, and then you gotta give me a warning. Hello, Patton, and my other friend. Hello.
Tiffany, get off the phone. He's a piece of shit. He's a male chauvinist pig, and you don't need him.
Hi, Samantha.
Okay.
Hi, Chris.
Wait, did you guys hook up?
I mean, he brought me over to watch Wishmaster 3.
Wait a second. You said that you guys were all out of that VHS tape.
Maybe you should trim your bush, bitch.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're just all clean shaven and Chris never told me straight up? He just gave me code words like tremors and like having Independence Day with your bush?
I have a disease. It's called alopecia.
Oh, wow. Okay, got real there for a second.
I did not give that to you.
Okay, I don't think that's a sexually transmitted disease. This is giving me a lot of insight into Chris Dillon. I gotta go, okay? I really thought that this was gonna go differently and we were gonna possibly hook up, but I guess not.
Bye, bitch.
Whoa.
Wow, I haven't heard from them in a while. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know they'd be.
Wow.
I'm sorry,
There's
guys.
definitely some jealousy there.
That was my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good, but
I
I
didn't
can't
know-
believe you stood up that girl like that.
Well, I didn't know that was gonna happen. That was years ago.
Well, Jeremiah Wonders has a weird portal in time, and then also it's the crazy amount of celebrities calling to the show. Like it's got a pretty giant following, so you just got to be aware of like whenever you come on this show, like if you have skeletons in the closet, they're gonna come out.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually can have literal skeletons from your closet
Yeah.
call.
Oh no,
Oh,
a
God.
skeleton is
No
calling in
way.
right now.
No way. You must-
Hey, it's me, the skeleton. I'm coming out of the closet.
Oh my God. You know what? Honestly,
Hey,
I'm happy for you. How does it
I've
feel?
been deep in Chris's closet.
You should get back in there and never come out again.
You sound like a guy who is inside of a haunted house. What are you doing? Hey, Joel.
Yeah.
Do you have any skeletons in your closet that need to come out?
Not at the moment. I don't think. I'm not sure, but I don't know.
There's a lot of dirty socks in your closet in here
There are
that have foot and dick on them.
F&D socks. Yeah.
F&D socks.
Yeah. Do you think I could sell those skeleton? Do you think I could make some money off those?
I mean, maybe on weird eBay or something.
I love it. Is that the website weirdebay.com?
WeirdEBay.com. You've never shopped on WeirdEBay.com? There's a
No.
lot of weird stuff on there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, never. That's pretty cool.
Hey, it's Tiffany. I'm in Chris's closet too.
Oh, Tiffany, get
I've
out.
been hiding out in there. What are you doing in here? Get out of here. Hey, Chris, you told me to meet you at Blockbuster, but I've actually been hiding in your closet for a while. There's also military clothes in here that you don't tell anybody about. What are you doing? Don't put those on. I'm wearing your fatigues right now. They're not called fatigues, you idiot. Oh, okay. Well, Chris, do you have anything to comment on this?
Tiffany, I locked you in there years ago. I figured you would have escaped by now.
Oh no,
You just been living in there?
I've just been eating your clothes. So, what are you doing? I'm gonna shut her up. Skeleton in the closet's back in here, bolting it up. Bye.
Okay, I don't know what just happened, but
That was
you got
You
some
have to-
weird things in your closet.
You have
Chris.
to stop giving your number out.
I know.
Jeremiah.
They are just calling in rampantly right now.
you got to stop angering women and skeletons, Chris. That is
That's why I have a tendency to do this thing called ghosting, and they do tend to get mad at that from what I'm heard of. From what I've heard, yes.
Yeah, you're guilty of ghosting chicks.
Maybe.
I think that's a yes.
Nah, we'll just say one or two. No, never mind. Nope.
so. Chris has definitely ghosted
Yeah, he's
two
definitely
girls.
ghosted some chicks.
They were on accident. It was because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
I just
I don't-
I did that in like sixth grade. I met this girl at this church camp, and we became boyfriend girlfriend. And I called her a couple times like after, but we lived in like different states, so we were like, this is a young innocent thing.
Yeah.
And
Far away states?
I mean, far enough of a drive away where I was like, I'm not gonna be able to see her for a long
Far
time.
enough
'Cause-
where your parents would get mad when the phone bill came in?
No. It was like
okay.
Missouri and Kansas.
Okay,
but she
gotcha.
lived in like way deeper part of Missouri, and I was in Kansas.
Yeah.
So I remember like I called her a couple times, and we talked on the phone for like 15 minutes, and I was like, man, this is a lot of work. And I just stopped calling her. Like that was the first experience where I just like ghosted somebody, where I was just like in sixth grade. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to break up, but I also don't want to like go through like all these phone calls for no
Yeah,
reason. So
yeah.
I'm just gonna stop.
I want a skateboard.
Yeah.
How old do you think you were?
I was in sixth grade, so I was like 12 or something
Man,
like
I
that.
remembered like girlfriends
Yeah,
when
me
you were
too.
that
That's
age.
what
They
it
were
was.
ridiculous. Like, I don't know, writing letters, and you didn't really date.
What's the farthest you went whenever you're around that age?
12 years old. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. I know like the first time I went to like a makeout party. I was in the sixth
really?
grade. Yeah. So I had just switched schools, and I went to this new school, and they invited me to somebody's birthday, and there was like rumors that they're gonna be playing Spin the Bottle and all this shit. And I was like, I remember the night before, like this is embarrassing, but like practicing on my hand.
Oh yeah.
I was just like trying to figure it out, and then it was kind of great because I made out with like 4 or 5 girls from my class.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
Joelberg.
Yeah.
Joelberg.
I also do remember like the bad ones. Like I remember one girl like almost suffocated me with her tongue.
Oh, she's just like.
That stiff tongue. Yeah. Honestly, it was still great.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, dude.
So you made out with 4 or 5 girls in
Something
one
like-
night.
but you know what's
was that your
gross,
first?
though?
Did you have your first kiss that night?
No, I had like smooched before, but never no tongue though.
Gets it in,
No,
dog.
no.
Good
He has a mom.
grief,
He's
man.
smooched before.
Yeah, no, I had smooched, but never like gone tongue in. So that was the first time I ever like made out with
'Cause I'm
somebody.
in too deep and I'm trying to keep
Up above in my head.
You gotta give me a warning, Joel.
Okay, all right. Well, I got it. I got the hang of this. Next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Cool. But yeah, it was weird. It wasn't really Spin the Bottle. They just put names in a bucket and like, it's kind of like Kill Tony.
Whoa,
Yeah, that's
full
weird. Yeah,
circle.
yeah. They threw everybody's names with paper.
Doing 60
busted-
seconds in Joel's mouth is Samantha Ray.
That's right. Yeah, and then so I went back to that birthday party every year while I was at that school.
Oh, I bet,
yeah.
dude.
But what else was gross was everybody else was making out too.
Now,
so.
how did they separate the names though? Was there a guy bucket and a girl bucket?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. It's man, it's foggy, dude. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there was 2, or they would just pick names maybe, and if it was 2, they would put them back. I don't think 2 of anybody kissed. Like no 2 boys, 2 girls. But I do remember touching tongues with a boy in my class just because these girls said they would do it if we did it, and so I
So
did that.
you did that?
I did that
So that was your first
in a Catholic school classroom in the 8th grade.
What year was that?
I don't know. It was 8th grade. I'm 31 now. I'm really bad at
8th grade.
time,
Okay, that would have been
so-
like you were in 14 or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So these two
Maybe.
girls said they would touch tongues if we did it, and I remember me and this kid for like a second.
What was his name?
I'd rather not say.
What was his name?
His name was Andre,
Okay.
and you know, hopefully he has fond memories. He probably doesn't even remember this, but I do, because even though when the girls did it, it was just for a second. It was so worth it.
Because of what? That was like your first time seeing like lesbian
Like,
action,
like live, yeah,
like like live,
yeah.
dude.
I'd never seen the band live before.
Man, did you have any? Did you go to any of those kind of parties, or what kind of upbringing did you have?
I didn't.
More secular, more conservative?
No, I grew up.
In Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Oklahoma, like in the outskirts, like the country of Oklahoma, just outside of Oklahoma City. I didn't go to a lot of those. Believe it or not, I was pretty quiet in school. What? Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't go to like any of the cool parties. I didn't get to touch tongues with dudes or anything, Joel.
Yeah, you missed out, dude.
Apparently.
Dude, this is really awkward, but Andre is calling in right now.
No way.
Yeah.
This is kind of shaking
Ghost
me.
him.
'cause
Ghost
it's-
him. Ghost him.
Dude, bro.
Hey, Andre.
Why are you leaking secrets, bro?
I don't know. I thought it was fine. It's 2018. So what? So what?
Dude, I'm married.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want that out there. I don't want my kids knowing about that.
Well, maybe it'll like your kids will grow up more accepting, and they'll be like, okay, it's fine. It's not a bad thing to do.
No,
That.
bro. No, dude. I did it for the chicks and the chicks only, man.
I mean, yeah, me too. But that doesn't. So then that's
Dude,
fine.
why you still talking about it then, dude?
Well, Jeremiah asked me to tell him about it. I didn't want to say your name. He pulled it out of me.
Dude, I was listening to the live stream. He asked you just one more time, and you just gave up my name.
Well, I want to be honest.
It's not
you
like
know?
you were being waterboarded or anything.
I mean, you know, I wanna not lie about things. You know. Are you? Who are you? What's your wife's name?
Teresa.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got 3 kids, dude. I don't want them hearing it.
Well, they don't have to listen to this. Be a good parent and don't fucking turn it on for them.
Okay, well, I guess my main question is this.
Yeah.
Do you ever still think about us?
Honestly, sometimes I think about that moment, you know, but more because of what we got out of it.
Do you ever sometimes stumble upon it in your dreams, and then it's like a freeze frame that slowly pushes in, and then fluttery hearts go around
Yeah.
it,
And the song.
and I
Dream.
say, "Why did I marry Teresa?" Does that ever happen to you?
No, that doesn't. But it seems like you've done a lot of thinking about this. Does that happen?
Why did I marry Teresa?
Does that ever happen to you?
Honestly, no. But it seems like maybe you do, and that's okay.
I wish I would have married Joelberg. He's so funny and cute, dog.
Do you ever
Do you ever have dreams like that?
No, I don't. But I support your right to do that.
No, I mean, you know, it's not like I've been thinking about it every day or anything since it happened or whatever, but
Yeah, no, that's okay, man.
sometimes I'm just like wondering, like,
What's going on in my life? Did I choose the right path? I'm still working at a Ralph's.
I don't know, man. I wish I could help you out, but I think we've grown up, you know, enough. You have 3 kids now. It seems like I don't want to be a home wrecker or anything.
I wish you'd wreck my home sometimes. All right,
Well-
I gotta go. I've said too much. See you
Okay,
later.
bye, Andre. Nice talking to you. That
Okay,
was,
Andre got really open really quick.
Yeah, first
Seems
he
like
was
he's got some
pissed.
regrets, dude.
Yeah, he was really mad for bringing it up, but it seems like it just stirred up a bunch of feelings that he
Yeah,
had.
mixed emotions really that he's been trying to bury. It seems like for
sucks,
a
man.
while.
I say if I had any advice, just let him out, man. Live your life, all for one, one for all.
Yeah. So Chris, go ahead.
Nothing. Okay, go ahead.
So grade school, high school. When did you start playing like guitar and?
When I was 15. Yeah, 15. What grade is that? That's probably like 7th grade. maybe.
Yeah. Were you in any bands in like high school or anything like that?
Yeah. So I formed the band. I formed a band because I was the kid that had the dad who had all of the music gear. Because my dad was always playing in bands like growing up. So I had like all of the guitars, the PA, and everything. So I was able to get some friends over when I was 15, and
You played with your dad before that, though,
Mhm.
right?
Well, I mean, later on, but like starting to learn, like, that's just how I started, just playing with like some friends in Oklahoma, and we learned the song "Brain Stew" by Green Day.
It's a good first.
I'm sure we sounded really, really good. But yeah, just growing up that way, and
How
then
does Brain Stew go again?
Turn it.
My eyes feel like they're gonna bleed.
Oh wow, Green Day is calling in right now.
Right up and bulging out my eyes go. My crickets flight. My senses dull. Best up and put out in my room. Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Oh wow, they're just playing their whole catalog now.
Weird. Jeez, you do a Broadway show and that's all you do.
you mention his name, and he calls.
Billy?
Yeah, Billy's looking for work.
Hey Billy, are you still around, dude?
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
Okay, you didn't really answer my question, but hey, what's your favorite month?
Wake me up when
When
November ends. So I'd probably say October.
Okay, it seems like you're just kind of talking like.
Welcome to paradise.
Okay, I didn't even ask where, what part of the country you're from or whatever, but I mean, you just keep chiming in with it kind of sounds like you're just doing a best of. Now that's what I call music on here.
I'm off the wagon and I'm hitching a ride.
I think I'm gonna have to let you go. I was starting to get somewhere with Chroma Chris, and then you kind of just like commandeered the conversation.
I hope you have the time of your life.
All right,
Bye.
bye, Billy. Okay, well, Chris, as you were saying, you were playing guitar with your dad. He got you into it, and then you started having some friends that like would come over and play in your garage, kind of thing, or in the basement.
Yeah, we'd play like up in the upstairs in the rec room, and we would play.
Ooh, the rec room.
Yeah, we had a rec room.
Ooh, what all was inside this rec room?
Sorry, I was privileged. Okay,
Whoa.
my bad.
The more you know. Oh, dude. Okay, freaking. Oh, you guys didn't have a freaking rec room? Oh, you didn't have a freaking tennis court with a little mini fridge next to it? Oh, that's cool. No, what was inside the rec room? I'm actually very curious about this.
Okay, so a piano, multiple guitars, a drum set, PA equipment,
Hookers,
yeah, cocaine,
tanning bed,
Cryo
foosball
chamber.
table. Yeah. A time machine. It's just a standard middle class Oklahoma.
A closet with skeletons in it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's a bunch of music equipment in there. Anything else, or is it just kind of like a studio kind of setup?
No, it used to be kind of like our playroom when we were younger, and it just kind of converted slowly into like the music room.
Your dad was putting his foot down.
Yeah, because
as you got
like,
older, you're like, no, we're gonna make this like a cool.
Well, because
Yeah.
like it was he always had his setup in the garage, and then he would slowly, when it would get kind of colder months, he'd move it into the living room, and then the stuff would kind of like stay there for a long time. So my mom would be like, get it back into the garage. And so then eventually it just kind of made its way up to the rec room and never left. So he took over our toy room,
Dude,
turned it into a music room.
Yeah, man. Turned upstairs, like he moved his man cave from downstairs to upstairs. That's pretty ballsy. I like that.
But yeah, and then I would start playing guitar, and then he just told me, he was like, dude, at your age, everyone's going to play guitar. You should learn bass, because then everybody's going to want you in your band or in their bands.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's
Great
kind of cool
advice.
foresight.
yeah, he was like, everybody plays guitar, especially growing up when they're 15, 16, everyone's playing guitar. So he gave me this bass, and then he would challenge me to learn like Beatles songs and STP songs, because like bass lines were very similar between those two bands.
Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots?
Yeah, their bassist is amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's really good. They have a very Beatles-esque vibe to them.
Okay.
If you listen to a lot of their songs. But yeah, so he would challenge me to learn like a bunch of like Paul McCartney bass lines and stuff like that. And I would when I was like 16 years old. And then I'd even start sitting in with his band. So my dad had a band. And he would have me come up and play a couple of songs with them.
What kind of music did your dad's band play?
So at this time, he was they were just a cover band. They were kind of older, so they'd play like classic rock covers.
Nice.
Yeah, anything from like Beatles to like Black Crows, like that kind of like bar band kind of.
Can your dad sing or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's a good singer. He's awesome. He has a mid-range kind of very like Dave Grohl range voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you actually sing a decent amount on your and Zane's albums,
Yes.
which is you should plug that. I think I'll play some of your stuff in the intro to this podcast, the lead in.
Wait, what do we have out there? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I forgot. Yeah, we've recorded a few things.
Yeah, what are the like Drac and the Swamp Rats, and then what's the other band that you play with?
Right now we just kind of decided that we're gonna just do like Drac and the Swamp Rats.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, we were doing like this band that was like called the Chroma Keys.
Yeah.
Which is actually where my name like Chroma Chris comes from.
Yep.
Is from that. That's I guess
Insider
insight.
information.
Yeah.
Because people probably wonder why Chroma Chris. Joelberg happened organically on the show, but you kind of came in with Chroma Chris.
Yeah. Well,
Also, your Twitter handle.
yeah, that was actually
Or
just
your
my
Instagram handle.
Yeah, that was just my Instagram
I
handle.
think Tony's just like, that's his name.
Yeah.
He shall be deemed Chroma Chris forever.
From one of the hottest top rising comedians.
Wait a minute. I think we're getting a call here.
Okay, I think we are actually. Hello. It just says Golden Pony
No, yeah.
on. It just says Golden Pony on the caller ID. Hello, is this my buddy Tony Hinchcliffe?
Yes, this is one of the hottest top rising comedians in the world.
Hey Tony, dude, we just had a great time with you.
Go ahead.
We just had a great time with you in Texas, buddy. Do you want to say anything about Chroma Chris?
Yes, I think he is the new sensation of the entire world. I believe everybody should probably follow him on all of his. He only does Instagram, and he's looking for followers, and definitely looking for some hashtag MCMs on Mondays.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's his handle? I mean, you're raving about his handle.
Chroma Chris. I call him the silent but deadly. It's kind of a fart joke. Get it?
I get it. You're one of the top young rising comedians, so yeah, I got that.
Wow.
Well, thanks for calling in to plug Chris's Instagram. You're speaking very highly of him. That's very nice of you, man. So I guess we'll see you back on Kill Tony very soon. Thanks for calling in, dude.
Thank you. I'll see you on Monday. How nice.
How generous
Wow.
of a guy to
I've
call
always-
in and just strictly plug Chroma Chris's Instagram. You know what I mean?
I've never had that happen before.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a generous guy. Yeah, he gives and
gives and gives.
he gives and gives.
Let's get into
He
this.
giggity gives.
He giggity gives. Let's get into this next segment. Pizza party. We just had some amazing pizza from Joe's Pizza on Sunset and next to the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. What'd you guys think?
I loved it.
Did I introduce you to Joe's originally? Or did you just go one night after the Comedy Store?
I had been to the one on Hollywood,
Oh,
but
gotcha.
they're not connected, are they?
Somehow they are.
Okay.
I think it's all the original owner, and then I think he sold them to different
And then when I
places.
found out that you would go to that one, we started going after Kill Tony like on Mondays. So I was there last night, so I had it for dinner and breakfast. Yeah,
Wow.
dude. I love
Die
me
Hard
some-
Joe's fan.
Yeah, Chroma was there last
Yeah,
night too.
we ate I think the last few slices that were left. We came in right at close to help clean them up.
nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of pizza, guys? Thin, thick, Chicago style, like deep dish?
Deep.
You like deep dish?
Deep dish.
Do you have any places that you go to like that are good, or either maybe like in Oklahoma, like that you used to go to growing up? Maybe not deep dish, but just pizza in general.
Yeah. Oklahoma, there was a cool place called like Taste of Chicago. Wait, no, that's here.
It's in Burbank.
Then what's the one? No, there's something in Oklahoma about Chicago, but it's good pizza. It's in like Midwest City, but it's definitely not like actual like deep dish. Like the Taste of Chicago here in Burbank is good. I know Joel really likes masa.
Yeah, Masa in Echo Park. I love it.
I still need to try that.
Dude, yeah, it's good. What I like about it is they let you bring like 2 bottles of wine, like per, I don't know how many people. They don't charge you a corkage fee. So if you go with 4 people, bring wine, you could get a giant pizza and everybody will leave stuffed and happy.
Oh, you bougie.
Dude.
Bring
that's
that
right.
wine into that pizza experience.
Gotta
That real
bring it.
Italian experience.
That's right, dude.
Okay. Well, this concludes Pizza Party.
Pizza, 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 pizza.
Time for a pizza party. Guys, we have a lot of questions that I want to get into, so I'm going to roll right into this next segment, Fanning Out.
Fanning out. Questions from fans.
I reach out to people not only on Twitter and Instagram, but we did a Kill Tony Band AMA on Reddit. And I'm going to try to get through as many of your guys' questions as possible. There are 3 pages that I narrowed them down to. There's a lot of good questions. If you don't watch Kill Tony, definitely watch that. You'll appreciate these questions a little bit more. But let's start off with this first one from Reddit. This is from @RedderShadeOfNeck on Reddit. Do you prefer a comedian who does well or one who bombs on Kill Tony? Would you rather a comedian do great in their 60 seconds but not be a great interview, or vice versa?
I don't like it when they bomb because it's cringeworthy and uncomfortable. So yeah, when they're successful, like when they do a good set, I'd rather have them do a good set and not a good interview, but that's rarely the case from what I've noticed. If you have a good set, it's because you know what you're doing up there.
Yeah.
I think it's hard when they're good. It's like we don't have enough kind of stuff to work off of for jokes and stuff to kind of keep moving the. It is awesome though. I like getting good comics on, but I think it's I don't want them to do bad, but I think when they do bad, it can be more entertaining, and then we get to ask them about other stuff, you know.
So it's better for us if they're bad. But
Kind of, yeah. Because we've had shows where everybody's great, and you're just like, it's just kind of like.
Well, if somebody does really well, I don't like it if their interview is bad, because I'm like, man, like sometimes the interview can even be more important than the set.
Yeah.
Because you can win over more people sometimes in the interview. So I'm rooting for the people who have really good sets. I'm hoping that they have a good interview, or they at least give us fuel for something interesting to talk about. Otherwise, I'm like, oh man, that's the last thing that people are going to remember is that interview. I feel bad sometimes for people.
Whereas if you bomb and have an awful set, you can still have a really great interview and be remembered
and completely turn it around. Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of people wanted to ask about this, Joel. This happened in Swansea, and actually Chris and I will be curious about this too. This is from @Bodie Broadcast on Reddit. Have Joelberg tell the story about what went down at the Swansea show with the Nazi guy, the Coke table, and the girl/dude fighting a girl/dude.
Whoa, some of those I don't remember. I don't remember girl/dude fighting girl/dude. The Coke table was just this table of young kids up front that we assumed were and probably were doing
On cocaine?
coke. Yeah, because every few minutes they would get tired again, and then one of them would go off to use the restroom and then come back, and then they'd be like, woo! And yeah, they were nice though. They meant well. Let them have their fun.
And then somebody had to be kicked out of the show because they were heckling or something, right?
Yeah, so this dude was being disruptive. I don't know if he was truly a Nazi. It was weird. He had a Nate Diaz.
I certainly hope not.
Yeah.
I hope Kill Tony's not drawing in that audience.
No, he had a Nick Diaz shirt, so I don't know if Nazis are wearing Mexican fighters T-shirts.
Yeah,
I think he might have just been like, I don't know. But so he was talking a little bit during Kill Tony. We shut him up, and then during my stand-up set, he stood up and started yelling at me, and so I gave him a bunch of chances to sit down, and he wouldn't do it. And so then the cop came and escorted him out, and as he was leaving, he's talking shit to me as they're like carrying him out.
Well, what made people think he was a Nazi?
Wasn't he saluting?
Yeah, he did. So
He was doing like sick Heils and stuff
yeah.
like that.
So what I didn't get
He
was
had this little mustache.
It was a sick hail, man.
He had an
It was-
armband on. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it was weird because he did it after we mentioned that there was a cop there. So I didn't know if he was saying that cops are like racist or he was like
okay.
trying to make some sort of statement or something. And he quieted down for the rest of that. But yeah, then he started talking during my set and we got him kicked out. And apparently he tried to fight the police on the way out.
Nice.
But yeah, it was nice. 99.9% of the crowd was great, and they all like had my back.
That's what it usually is.
We got him out of there.
That's
yeah.
what it usually is for sure. Let's ask this. This is from at D3ATHK1LL3R on Reddit. How do you feel about not having Pat on the main Kill Tony anymore? Also, was the last episode with Pat super awkward? Seems like him and Tony were kind of mad at each other. I will answer that first. I loved having my boy Pat Reagan on the show. We all loved having Pat on the show. I actually wish sometimes for sure that he was still on the show because what I think is what's kind of interesting about the evolution of the band on Kill Tony is if you go back in earlier episodes, you look at a lot of the comments and stuff, a lot of people started out really not liking the band. And I feel like we've kind of like come into our own and like kind of figured out what works for us and what we do well on the show to contribute. And I feel like we're much more loved now as part of the show than it used to be. So one of the reasons I kind of wish Pat was still on the show was so he could still be seeing that. Because I feel like he was in the midst of when we were still super controversial, where like I would see comments all the time like get rid of the band, like constantly like online and like tweets and different stuff like that. So I wish he was on the show for that reason, but also I love, obviously I work with him very closely with Reagan and Watkins. We have a new album coming out and we still work together and do sets together all the time. So he has a sensibility and he has comedic choices that none of us will make on a show, which some people might consider throwing a wrench in the show, but I always think it adds a different, it takes a right turn, and then you start riffing upon that. So I definitely miss having Pat on the show. As far as the last episode that he was on, I think that was just a thing of I think he was completely burnt out. And I think that's you shouldn't read into it any more than that. Like I think that like he had been doing the show and the warm up, which if they would stream the warm-ups online and you could watch them, but I've done spots everywhere in really ridiculously hard rooms, and that spot is still one of the hardest spots to do in comedy, is to warm up that audience before Kill Tony.
15 minutes every week.
And he did that. He did 15 minutes every week for years, and on top of that, he was doing the show. So I think it just got to a point where it's just like, he just wanted to work on other stuff. And
yeah, he outgrew it. He wanted to just explore.
On the next project.
Yeah, for sure. And he wasn't fired.
No.
I know.
Everybody's
so many
always
people.
saying like he was fired.
No,
it's like
him and Tony, they're friends. They had a nice conversation on the phone about it, and Tony was like, the way he ended is like, is it cool? Jeremiah still does a show, and we call him the band leader, and Pat's like, totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I think that answers that question.
Heck yeah.
This is for Joel, essentially. You might know, because I think you know this lady. At Bang or Daily Nuisance on Reddit, how many comedians has Jolena jacked it off so far?
Oh. I'll say it's definitely over 50, but less than 100.
This is a lot to ask, but you have her contact info, right?
Yeah, we can patch in. Yeah.
Would we be able to get her on the phone?
Yeah,
I know that,
let me.
she's kind of like, I know her. She's with Boost Mobile, so it's like kind of like in and out of service.
Yeah.
But do you think we'd be able to maybe get her?
I think
to
so.
call into the
yeah,
show.
I think so. Yeah,
Jolena,
yeah.
if you're out there listening right now, I think Joel's like maybe trying to text you or something. And
Hey, what's up, putos?
oh, she just patched in. Is this Jolena?
That's right, eh?
Wow. Can I just say it is an honor to have you on Jeremiah Wonders. You made an appearance one other time only on the show whenever Joel Jimenez happened to be on. Thanks for calling in. The main question is, how many comedians have you jacked it off?
Hey, like I said, a lady never kisses and tells, but like 62 probably. If I had-
62?
Yeah, but I never kissed those fools. I just jacked them off.
So it wasn't romantic at all?
No, I just provide a service, see?
Wait, are you saying that they pay you?
I
Is it-
take donations.
Is it a pay to play kind of thing?
Nah, I just like set up a bucket.
Wait, is that for the cum or the money?
I'll take what I could get. Homie. Sometimes the money is sticky, but that's all right. Money is money.
Money is money. That's right. What's your latest? We've seen you. You came to San Francisco. What have you been doing for work lately, Jolena?
I was working I went up to Texas recently. I was working at a Whataburger and
I remember that.
I saw you fools in Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth, I saw you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been working at a Whataburger there?
Yeah, I came to the show because they had just fired me, so I'm out of work right now. I've been in and out of prison, kind of a lot.
I mean, have you still been getting into fights with other females?
Oh,
Domestic disputes?
These bitches can't stop looking at. They're jealous, fool. They look at me, they're fucking jealous.
Well, your makeup is always on point, so it's probably the makeup.
Probably, Probably these fucking tetas. I got that fucking. Damn, I'm fucking. I got a juice box on me, homie.
Oh man, and the straw is weathered and worn. I'll tell you that much. It looks like a lot of people have chewed on that thing.
Hey, just because one man's trash is another man's treasure, all right?
I've never heard that said about a woman's body before, but I will take that as the truth.
Yeah, people say their body's a wonderland. Mine's like a county fair.
Okay, yeah. A lot of the rides are free.
Yeah, like the log jammer.
The log jammer. Okay, is that what you call your special friend that you hook up to the wall?
That's right, the log jammer. Keep the waves coming, homie.
Okay, well, Jolena, do you have any advice for Chroma Chris? You two usually don't interact too much. I sense some sexual tension between you two. Have you two hooked up before?
I mean, yeah, he told me to shave. I did it.
What is up with Chroma Chris and asking these girls to shave?
I don't know. He's fine as fuck, so I did it. And I came over and I watched fucking, a movie from Blockbuster.
He still has Blockbuster movies at his place?
Yeah, and they still have the Blockbuster cases on them, too. They're not even, the real cases.
I worked there. I still got the hookup.
Wow, that's crazy.
Speaking of hookup, call me later.
You are terrifying, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey.
You're
You're just intimidated, fool. That's all right.
There's a lot of guys on Instagram and stuff that comment that they want to have sex with Jolena every time we post pictures of you.
That's right. And for all you creepers, I'm screenshotting every single time you say you want to fuck, because I'm going to put you on blacks one day.
Did you say you're gonna put somebody on blacks
I'm
one
going to
day?
put them on blacks, fool.
Oh.
Merry Christmas, all right? For Christmas this year, you're getting put on blacks, Tommy.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, you two, enjoy your turkey, your crankberry socks.
Crankberry socks?
Yeah, crankberry socks. You put it on.
your
On
feet.
turkey, like
Your feet.
You put it on the. You put it on the stuff, on the turkey, on the stuffing right there. For the holiday season, eh?
okay. Have you ever had corn cackerel before?
Corn cackerel.
You've never had corn cackerel before?
Nah, I have had lasagna though.
Lasagna
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Lasagna, macaroni and cheeks.
Oh man. That's beautiful.
That's
Well,
right.
hopefully I'm hoping that Jolena comes up with a cookbook soon.
Oh, that's a good idea, eh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on that, fool.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Jolena.
Bye.
What an honor to have Jolena call into the show.
Man, she sounds a little tired, man. I think she's been, prison's hard on
Yeah, man. I mean,
women.
whenever you're in and out of the pincher,
That's right. That's also what she calls her vagina, the,
pincher.
pincher.
Okay, kinda SFW on Reddit. Who has the best hog? What a question, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We've never compared.
Never compared. They've both seen me completely naked. getting waxed.
Oh, I thought you meant
Oh,
Harleys. Oh.
No. They're talking about wieners for sure.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know, man. I haven't seen their junk, so.
You know
and
what?
they-
It's not about the best hobby.
Oh, I have a picture of mine when I was in drag as a nurse.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
the
I've
porn
seen
star
yours.
nurse.
Yeah, I've seen yours. Yeah.
It's all flopping out there. But I'll
Because
show you later.
Because you were wearing tights, but you forgot. You didn't wear underwear, and you forgot the tights were
You
see-through.
just wore tights?
Well, no, okay, so I had
It fell out of your boxers.
yeah,
or
I had
something?
no, I had tights, and then I had some pink panties on, but it fell out the side as it was sitting there, and I was taking a picture, and I didn't notice till after I was showing everybody. I was like, "Hey, look how gross I look in this makeup." Meanwhile, it's just like
Your dick is
my
out.
dinger is just there.
80 women are following
It
you.
could be Chroma Chris if his thing is flopping out of his panties.
His pink panties.
It was-
His Pink Panthers
I just-
coming out to play.
It was totally accident that I showed all of the ladies that picture, though.
Wow. Did they comment? Did they be like,
No, actually, I think I only showed it to actually like Joel, maybe.
I saw it live because you were looking into the mirror and
took
you
the
didn't
picture.
realize. Never mind.
You were the photographer.
we've seen each other in very weird physical contortions. I mean,
mean-
they've seen every inch of my body at this point from that live waxing that we did
That
on
was
stage.
incredible, by the way. I felt so much closer to you after that.
I hope so. He saw everything.
What a trip that Chris Pontius was there, right? For that.
That was freaking surreal,
yeah,
dude.
Jason Weeman was there.
Yeah.
Rick Cossack.
Rick Cossack.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It must have been weird for you to be getting waxed with the Jackass crew there.
Dude,
It's like-
it was like this weird. It sounds weird, but it's like a weird full circle, like awesome, like living your dream moment. Where
sure.
I'm like, dude, I'm working with people right now who I loved, like who are big influences on me
Yeah.
growing up in that Jackass era and everything.
and he's like talking you through it.
yeah, dude. He's like, he's like, you got to loosen up your butt, dude. He's like, he's like, you got to relax. I was like, yeah, getting coached by Chris Pontius is pretty cool. Man, let's how have you guys evolved / changed / grown since being on the show personally and professionally? And this is from personality a few _ champ on Reddit. And while you're thinking about that, they're just talking about the show, so think about how you've evolved, I guess, while I read the rest of this. I bought a big screen TV, and all I use it for are videos of my favorite podcasts. Y'all get the most play next to Rogan in your mom's house. Drives my wife crazy, but y'all have grown on her. I saw you guys in Austin for my second time this last episode. Absolutely loved every minute. First one I was there was for when Blanca attacked JW. Legendary. Also, I did a kind action by joining the Big Brothers Big Sisters nonprofit. I now have a little guy I see weekly. It is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life next to marrying my wife. Love you all. Thank you for making us laugh. So,
Dope.
fellow kindness challenge
Heck yeah.
actor. That's awesome. How do you think you guys have evolved since joining the show? Personally or professionally?
I think, I'm definitely doing more. Like, I'm doing more stuff now, which is cool. Like getting more, people calling me, just to like work on things with people. So,
Yeah.
that's always like just been my big thing. That's kind of why I moved out here. And it was kind of coming along like slowly but surely. And then, I got on the podcast. I noticed like I'm doing a lot more stuff now with other people and,
Getting guitars.
yeah. Oh, you peanut butter and jelly. I got a guitar.
Dude, it's so cool. Somebody made, Chris, if you didn't know, somebody made, what's the company name?
Lambden.
Lambden Guitars. Up in the Bay Area?
Yeah, he's up in the Bay Area. He was a fan of he's a fan of Kill Tony, and he hit me up and was just he kind of showed me his guitars and everything, and he offered to make me a custom guitar, and he did.
That's so cool.
And it actually I've never gotten more comments like on a guitar, like positive comments just coming in all the time. People see it and like
It's really cool.
It's really cool. It's really thin. It's he custom made it for me, and he custom makes all of his guitars, so
That's
it's
awesome.
really cool. Yeah.
Joel?
I mean,
you talk about with me all the time, like
Yeah.
how like pumped you are that we're all touring like
dude,
together.
it's the best. I mean, honestly, Kill Tony, Brian, everybody have like legitimized me as like a comedian, and kind of put me on the map a little bit. Where when I was working at the skate park or even like waiting tables a little bit, like when stuff got really hard, it would give me something to look forward to and kind of hold on to. So I think my outlook on life is just I try to be way more I try to be grateful and be more positive than I used to be.
That's awesome. What I'll say for myself is I've always had an affinity, and I've always loved doing impressions and characters and stuff within my act. But I think that that's something that people are starting to actually like associate with me now. Like I've always wanted to be on a sketch show like Saturday Night Live, and in the last like year and a half, like I felt like kind of a shift with people where they're like you should be on that show rather than like it just be like an unobtainable kind of goal or dream. Like I have people all the time, they're like, why aren't you, or you should be. And I'm super grateful that I get to do what we get to do every week on the show, like doing different characters and building up different things. And it's opened a lot of cool doors and stuff for me, but it's been awesome getting to like kind of flex that improv muscle, because I've been an improviser even longer than stand-up, and with this format it really like lends itself to like kind of being able to show that off to people.
Yeah, people said like in Steve Martin's book, he says like when you start doing comedy, you will use everything that you have ever learned in your life. So drums, and I used to have a costume box when I was a kid, all that. So now it's like all.
Dude, me being able to play sax as a comedian has literally, helped that, along with my other skill set, has helped me tour the country. Whether it be the Comedy Jam with Josh Adam Myers and that crew, or Kill Tony, or like with Reagan and Watkins more recently, like it's opened so many doors. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, us too.
This is from @Tennessee Volunteers on Reddit. When will Chroma Chris get his own mic?
Oh, I don't know. I guess we'd have to. I don't decide that. What do you guys think?
What do Joel and I think?
Yeah, I think it's cool with just the one, right?
I think it's good. I think it's good as is, because Pat and I used to share a mic, and honestly, what is good about that is it makes you choose your moments even just a little bit more. Because sometimes like Pat and I would literally be like, oh no, that's not quite worth it. You know what I mean? And the way it's been, your track record recently, you've just been killing, like, because we're so close. We're literally this close on Kill Tony anyway. So you can just be like this, or you can lean in. I try not to do this the whole time unless I have something like in the chamber to go. So it's usually like between Chris and I. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I actually agree 100% that it's great where it is, because I won't say something that is absolutely terrible in bombs. It's like I have to think about it for a second. I'm like, okay, let's give it a try. And then like, yeah, it's just not right there in front of me. I'm not going to just say something.
And I'm just in the back wilding out.
Good grief. There you go. Joel's happy to have his own mic, and he's happy to yell into mics on this podcast. This is going off one of the other questions ago. Trying to get through as many of these as possible. I did an AMA on Reddit, and trying to answer as many of these as possible without being too long-winded. At another floor turd on Reddit, Chris was gifted a custom-built guitar at a show in San Francisco. What other cool shit have y'all been gifted? Also, do y'all have a P.O. box to send stuff to, or do you have an Amazon wish list or something of that sort? Thanks for all you do, guys.
I do now. I'll Instagram that out later.
Yeah, I mean, we've been like, we just talked about Chris was gifted some cool stuff. We've all been, there's been some clothing companies that have been really nice to us. Actually, Joel is sporting some Upper Park clothing right now. This hat that I'm wearing, Crown City, is a Kansas City based company that they put out a bunch of KC stuff, and I'm from Kansas City, so he's been super cool and has sent me a bunch of stuff. And I think the coolest thing that I ever received was, I don't know if this is the coolest thing I ever received. It's the official Jeremiah Watkins sax pipe. And
God,
somebody sent me this, did custom packaging and everything, and they sent it to me from South Africa. So
Amazing.
shout out to you, buddy. That was like, Joel, do you have anything to go off that?
Just all of it, man. Everybody's been from the comments to, people have Venmoed me. People have given me clothing, food. We've been invited to breweries like in different cities and
Yeah.
all of it. All of
Art.
it's been
I mean,
great.
people have made posters for us. They've sent us like art. You've been, I think, at San Francisco. That guy made
A giant wood piece.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're super,
really cool.
super grateful for all those interactions and all the people who contribute their talents to us.
I
Like
need
that
to
people have made animations and stuff for this show and stuff like that. Like it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Keep doing it.
We appreciate it.
I love free stuff.
You can send stuff to the Kill Tony Band at the Comedy Store. Attention, Jeremiah Watkins. And 8433 Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90069. I don't know if they'll be upset that I'm blasting out their address on on my YouTube show, on my podcast,
People
but
can Google
who knows?
it. They're probably fine.
Let's see. I'll try to okay. At Hut Houston, what characters did you have the hardest time getting into? Do you ever have inner conflict between doing what the crowd wants and what you want? For instance, does Joel ever feel obliged to be Jolena even when he doesn't want to?
No, not recently. Recently, I enjoy doing it because I like that people get a kick out of it. I love the reaction that.
Yeah.
I can't believe anybody cares about a character that I've done. So I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
And I was gonna say, even you've had people dress up as your characters.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Cassandra
come to the
Cass
show, yeah.
came dressed as Jolena a
was
few
pretty
weeks
cool.
ago. It was awesome. What was it? What was the question again?
What do you have the characters hardest getting into? What I'll say about
Yeah.
that is I think that the hardest characters that we have getting into are the ones where we don't have a clear point of view whenever we're going into the show. Sometimes we find it on the show, and the characters where we end up not finding a clear point of view during the show, those are usually the characters that we don't bring back because there's nothing to go off of. Honestly, people liked when sometimes people like when we dress up as like famous like video game characters or cartoon characters. And in my opinion, those are the hardest to get into because it's such a surface level. It's literally like all of those things are literally two-dimensional characters. They like, unless you're like geeked out like fanage where you know like you're a fanboy of them, you know their long backstory. I mean, we could always do our own takes on that, but a lot of people, because they're so known, it actually hurts us to improvise with them. Like the Mario and Luigi characters, stuff like that. It's like, where do you, like, they're so iconic that it's hard. Like, you can go dirty with them. But that's kind of an obvious thing for any of those kind of things. So for me, those are the ones that are really hard.
I agree.
I was gonna say the Street Fighter. When we did Street Fighter, was
hard.
probably, yeah. But it's like you said, like it's a video game that I'm just not familiar with, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of people, and if you say something wrong, you get blasted with it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't play video games.
My
so that
my
was
favorite
really hard.
thing that I did as Ryu was whenever a joke did not do well, I would Harry carry myself and just like commit like like dishonor, like just stab myself and then fall to the ground. Which maybe I'll bring that back for a different character because I don't see us being Street Fighters characters
yeah.
again.
You're always my touchstone for that. Like I'll pitch a lot of things that aesthetically look cool, but then they have no point of view, so we trash them.
Yeah. At Gerstworth, Chroma Chris, are you shy or is that mic just too far away? I feel like whenever you talk, it kills, but it's like less than once an episode. # justice for Chroma Chris. # get this man a mic.
Yeah, I think it's just I choose wisely what I say.
There you go.
Yeah, I just I know I know if something's gonna hit, so I'll say it. Other than that, yeah, I try to be kind of quiet in a way. It is kind of a not so much a shy thing, but someone like Jeremiah and Joel who have these really quick minds and can just come up with something just so fast. I know I'm like a small step behind, so it takes me a little bit, more to come up with something.
You're
I feel
a sniper,
like.
dude.
Yeah.
Long distance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lining up. Yeah.
So I'll choose my moments.
That's nice. From Instagram at Rockin' Pins. Who is your dream guest for Kill Tony? Do you guys have a dream guest?
Yeah, I got a few.
Yeah? Name them.
Gilbert Gottfried, I think, would be really great.
Okay, great.
And I mean, of course, like Chappelle Rock, but I think Gilbert Gottfried would be really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. Chris?
Well, right now I'm really big on. There's this comedian out here, Henry Zabrowski, who does stand up. I think he would be great and give some really good feedback to some of these people out here. He's very like a William Montgomery-esque comic out here.
Nice.
I'll take George W. Bush too.
My two, I mean, just because, I mean, they're giant influences on me, but like if Jim Carrey or Steve Martin
That'd
was
be
ever on the
awesome.
show, it would be, especially since Steve Martin just put out like his master class on comedy. I feel like he'd be a guest who would give really good advice, and he would, you know, send in jokes and stuff like that as well. That'd be like crazy fun.
David Allen Greer.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, we could go forever.
Yeah,
These are
there's-
dreams.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, doesn't Dana Carvey live down the street somewhere?
Oh,
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
love to
man.
have
Dana
him,
Carvey would
too.
be ridiculous. I bet he'd love the show, especially with like the Dana Carvey show, how off the rockers that show
Dude.
was. At bwatson82 on Instagram, will you put a hidden track on the Reagan Watkins album? I'm going to say no, just because it's a 23-track album. So all the stuff is right up there in the front, and it's going to be freaking awesome. It's being mastered right now, so we're super pumped about that. And like I said, Chris lended his talents on bass, and Joel lended his talents on drums for some of the tracks. So we're like, we're freaking pumped about that, and it sounds good. I was showing Joel over the weekend in Texas
Yeah,
one of the tracks.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. 21 tracks.
23.
23. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
At Lennon_tequilas, do y'all each have a favorite character? This was like one asked by a bunch of different people. Like, what are our favorite characters to play?
We met this dude in Fort Worth. He was cool. Lennon Tequilas. I'll let you start, Jeremiah.
I've got a lot of different favorites. Feminist Stacy's up there. Shanks. Love Cat Bagla. Cat Bagla t-shirt available at jeremiahwatkins.tv/shop. Shameless plug. I love doing Snape, Professor Snape, Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Man, I like some of the more, like some of them we've only done once. I love Vampire Elvis. That was like forever ago, but we like.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
I
dude.
guess I missed that.
We might have to bring that back. Sad Darth Vader. Like some of these have only been
That
done
was great.
once.
Sad Darth Vader. How about you, Chris? I want to know which ones you like. 'Cause
Yeah, dude.
we never really talk about it.
Well, hands down, my favorite is the redneck characters that we do, like the NASCAR rednecks, just because
That's
it's
white trash, right?
Yeah, that's so close to home that it's
Oh yeah, you're from
amazing.
Oklahoma. I'm from Kansas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we know people like that.
Yes, yes, we completely know people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun just making it very gross and white trash looking.
Well, yeah,
And
you
it's
have like those shorts and stuff that you put on.
short shorts, and I cut my t-shirt into like a belly t-shirt.
Joel hit me up whenever we were gonna do those. Is like, do you have any wigs? I was like, I actually have 3 mullet wigs if you want me to bring them. They're like, you have 3? I'm like, yeah, I just collected them over time. I have them. Yeah.
I almost did whiteface for that one.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny.
Is that
I wouldn't
offensive?
have been offended. I think that's hilarious.
I'm trying to think of mine. I love Jolena. I think I like the mobsters a lot.
Oh, yeah,
Mechanics is one of my favorite.
Yeah, those are fun.
Police I like. Anything really that has had a clear perspective.
I like the King and the Knights a lot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Kill Tony moments, which this is probably another question on here, but one of my favorite Kill Tony moments, it's kind of like an obscure thing, but whenever we were the detectives, and there's this guy who was going on and on about how he's an improviser and how he does improv, and I just told Tony, I was like, I'll do an improv scene with this guy right
Live.
now. And Danny lowered the lights to a spotlight, and we did an improv scene in the middle of Kill Tony. And
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as I said yes, I was like, why did I agree to do that? The stakes are so high right now.
Yeah.
and luckily it went well. But I was like, this is like just a cool moment on the show. Like,
My heart started pounding because I know you can get into it, but it's hard to put a bow on something like that.
Yeah.
Towards the end, and I was like, please wrap it up, and you did it perfectly, and I was like, oh, of course. Why did I ever doubt?
but I mean, the diner waitresses, those are super fun. We'll have to bring those back. There's been so many. Like, if you, another plug, but this is just kind of cool. This is something I've been doing for a while that I've told Chris and Joel about on my Instagram profile at Jeremiah Stand Up. There's something called highlights that you can scroll and watch different people's highlights. I have over 26 different characters from different shows on there doing little snippets of sound bites, and you start to look and you're like, almost all of them are from Kill Tony. Like, I would say about 90% of them are from Kill Tony. And you're just like, whoa, they've done a lot of characters on Kill Tony.
And
There's
those
a new
aren't
one
even
every
all
single
of them,
week.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them like haven't even been,
For sure.
like, I forget sometimes to put some of them on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes just like going back to that improv thing, it's not that we don't, like, it's like watching your friend tightrope walk. And it's
Sure.
like, please. It's like whenever I see someone I know go up on Kill Tony, I'm like, please do well, you know, because I'm
Yeah.
going to have to kill you after this if you don't.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, this is a fun music question. At Minkblotz, what's each of your top 3 music artists? Viva la Joelberg.
Thank you. Chris, I want to know.
No, that's you. You
Oh,
said
me?
Joelberg,
Oh,
yeah.
me. Me
No,
three. I
all
thought
three of
all
us.
of us.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go first.
What's
so I
each
can
of your
think.
top 3 music artists? Do you have?
Oh, me?
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
dang, this is hard. I would say, there's too many.
I'm the same way. I don't
yeah,
know.
there's-
I'm gonna say, for me, Muse is in my top 3. I think, you know what? And people might. I'm just going off of the ones that I listen to the most, that I think that have the longest like longevity. It's easy to say something like the Beatles because their catalog is so huge, so I'm not gonna say that. But I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I listen to their best of whenever I fly all the time.
They get a bad rap. It's so weird. They're so easy to hate from other people, but they've done a lot of great music.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Kiedis, obviously another one of my favorites that I've done on the show.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
That's
I
fun.
listen to so many different genres that it'd be hard to.
It's hard to narrow them
Yeah.
down.
I'll rattle like 10. I like Black Flag, The Descendants, The Clash, Pennywise. I just started listening to a lot of Migos because Tony got me into Migos.
Migos good, yeah.
You know, everything. Talib Kweli. I like a lot of like hip hop. Yeah, I listen to everything.
Cool. Yeah, I listen. Same way. It's just there's a lot.
Weezer's great. Blink-182.
I'm a big like Ryan Adams is probably one of my top favorites. Ryan Adams is really good. Ryan Adams. I listen to a lot of like garage rock kind of music. So like King Kong and Barbecue Show.
White Fang.
White Fang is awesome.
Chris
They're-
has Beatles tattoos. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my whole well, not my whole, so this part of my chest and down to my arm, like all that's like a Beatles tattoo. Oh, all that's like a Beatles tattoo just all over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was because just growing up, like being such an influence from my dad, you know, and telling me like, hey, learn these Beatles
Learn
songs.
these McCartney riffs and stuff.
They became a huge part of like, you know, just actually like me musically. So I ended up getting this, and it's a bunch of their lyrics, but I had them like illustrated. So there's like something like what it ties it all together is like a long and winding road. And there's
awesome.
like, and there's like a blackbird, and there's like a face in a jar, and
Walrus.
walrus and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna say for me, Muse, Justin Timberlake, and the Beatles. I'll say that.
Okay. Let's do 3 each of us.
Okay, Ryan Adams. I would probably say like Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age.
Which I told you about that, right?
Huh.
Oh, I told Joel.
yeah,
on
yeah.
the road,
Does it have to
dude.
be on
Is
the
he
down
coming
low?
on the show?
No.
Oh,
So,
dang.
dude, one of the weeks that I was gone for Kill Tony, I was working on Jeff Ross's show on Netflix, Historical Roast, which will be out in the spring on Netflix. And Josh Homme ended up playing one of the characters on the show, and Avery Pearson and I rehearsed with him, and I played guitar for when he sang.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
It was insane. I was like, it was insane.
Shit.
Like, it was one of those things where it's just like, we were like running it back and literally like legit like rehearsing, like running. He's like, he literally changed some of the guitar stuff on there. He's like, oh, I think it'll sound better if you do it like this. And we're like, yeah, sure.
You're like, what are you talking about? You don't know it. No.
Yeah, he plays in a certain way. Like if you've ever watched, like Queens of the Stone Age live or whatever, I get exhausted watching him sing and play at the same time. Just because he's constantly moving his fingers and he's constantly going, but he's just singing so smoothly over the top of it. Mm-hmm. It's just like, dude, slow down, stop moving your fingers for a second, let the other guys do it.
Yeah,
like, he's. Oh, and Dave Grohl's another big one of mine. Like, top. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I love the Ramones.
Ramones are great.
Ramones, Black Flag, Descendants. Nice. For today,
I know it's hard to narrow down to 3. All right, I'll do 1 or 2 more questions. Then we got to get into sax talk. Oh man, there's so many good questions. We're gonna have to do a part 2 for sure. This is just funny. At Reed_Barry, has there ever been a character Tony asked to not appear again? Yes, there is. It was when he labeled us as crazy, but we were mental patients. To me, those are 2 very different things. But whenever you label someone as crazy in improv, instantly you throw everything that they say out the window. You can't hold true to that. But we, on our end, we didn't establish it soon enough up front. So it was one of those things where I, out of like pride, want to bring those characters back to try to write that, because that episode was pretty rough.
Yeah, that's what happened with the drug episode with Pat too. It was like we were supposed to be
representing drugs. I was supposed to be cocaine. Joel was Molly.
I was ecstasy, I think.
And Pat, ecstasy, Chris was ecstasy. Pat was bath salts.
I was weed, I think.
And you were weed? Okay. Yeah. But we were going to represent it, but we got as drug addicts, and it really like...
Yeah, so then we started acting like we were more erratic than personifying
because we got
the
labeled
drug.
As that. Yeah.
So we've done a better job of that recently, like labeling up top.
Right away, you got to it super important.
Tony's worked with us. We figured it out, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Tobias Turbs, number 1 Kill Tony moment that you will always remember. Chris, Joel.
Wait, Joel, you go first. And I got to think of mine.
There's so many, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite ones is just like watching you guys laugh out of the corner of my eyes, like whenever I've like thrown up on stage, or from eating so much during that episode, or like the waxing that happened. Like I mentioned, the improv scene and stuff like that. I mean, obviously the Joe Rogan moment is definitely up there. Like
that was awesome.
Like just like because that got like a standing ovation like instantly. Like whenever we came out to do that, like you as Tony and like you bring me out as Rogan and Chris is Josh Martin. It's like, it's so
dusting
good.
Your shoulders.
So funny.
Yeah, 5-year anniversary is a top one. Really, anytime we're all on the same wavelength, I think, and we're all like backing each other up, working, because you can feel it. It's like real tight up there. That I would say that.
I think I think the weigh-in was probably my favorite, just because of how horribly
fat you were,
like
dude.
no, not how fat you were, but just how little weight Tony gained. Like it's like 1 pound.
Yeah.
And like at the weigh-in, when he stepped on the thing like beforehand, and we're just like, oh God.
I think he was like, oh no, or something. Yeah, he had checked.
Dude. Oh man. Do you have a best line that you remember that you've done from Kill Tony, Chris?
Not really. Not
It's from at Bam Bam Beto.
I don't know. I don't remember a lot of my lines. I don't really remember yesterday's
Last night
lines.
you asked you were a priest, and you asked the guy if on a scale from 1 to 10, how old was he?
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
I had a cool moment in Fort Worth. You guys can watch it, but
it's not out yet. Yeah.
Should I not talk about it?
No, yeah. By the time, I bet it'll be out by the time.
So this girl with alopecia, she traded wigs with me on stage, and she was super cool, real trooper, man. She was like down for the show and everything. So we switched wigs, and this wig had a bandana, and I come out as Jolena in Fort Worth, and so that got a pop. But then when I said Jack did it off, it like I felt the room kind of know,
Oh, dude,
pop
it
a little
rippled the room.
heavier. So
Yeah.
that was kind of intense to feel that.
Leveled it.
Oh, I guess I remember when we were detectives. Yeah, when we were detectives. This one I know who it was, but I can't remember the guy's name. But he bombed really, really bad. And I took out my notepad and I was just asked him. I was like, "And when was the last time that you saw these punchlines?"
Yeah.
And it just blew up. And I was just like, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to be that good." But
Oh yeah, yeah, dude, it's awesome when that happens. Last question for sure. This is from Alice Hamilton, Miss Alice Hamilton on Instagram. What last minute costumes are you most proud of? Which costumes have been the most expensive? Which ones will you never do again? And have you ever performed when you're really sick? Which a lot of the questions were also, what's our process, which we should probably cover for how we pick the costumes every week and the characters and stuff like that. Usually, there's a group text that goes out where we kind of decide what we want to do. We have gotten together at one point and made like a target list of like things that we want to be in the future. Sometimes we pick certain ones out of ease, like out of what we already have, so we don't have to go shopping, especially like whenever we came back from Texas. It was you know what I mean? Like whenever we've been on the road for a while, we want to choose one that's like obtainable to get without doing hours of shopping.
Yeah.
Joel usually takes care of the costume shopping for us, and it'll be phone calls and picture texts that are going on for approval and stuff like that. But it really comes down to what I usually... I'll sometimes veto some character suggestions if I feel like there's no point of view there. If I'm like, it's just a visual gag.
Yeah.
Like, we can't run with that for an hour and a half. What
sure.
would you guys say?
I go to you for that. Yeah, I think that you like to keep the audience guessing. So if something's too on the nose, we won't do it either.
Like a year or so ago, like on St. Patty's Day, we were leprechauns. So like, we now, because then people start to guess like, oh, are they gonna do this because this is coming up? I don't like that. So like, I throw a lot of misdirects where you're like you're literally never going to be able to guess what. Every once in a while, somebody will guess ahead of time. I'm like, dang it, I gotta throw more curveballs at them.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I know one that you'll probably never do again. Was that part of the question? One
Yeah,
you'll never do again.
Yeah.
Because I've asked a few times if we could do ICP again. Because I didn't get to do it. Insane Clown Posse.
I actually haven't done that one yet.
Oh, you guys didn't do it? Was that just you and Pat?
So me and Pat did it. The face paint was a doozy. It was
people. You know, it's funny. A bunch of people have asked if we can do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to lock ourselves in a room like a few hours before the show, and then the rest of the day. If you think putting on ICP face paint is scary, wait till it doesn't like completely wash off.
I paint
you
my
have to
face.
walk around the store like that.
I
It's
paint
like,
my face brown.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, that's offensive.
Well, like because that sounds
As a
bad.
werewolf.
Yeah. Not.
As
Yeah.
a werewolf for
Yeah.
his band.
I'm in a
Dragon
band.
Swamp Rats. Yeah.
Um,
Some of our cheapest costumes those are the ones that I'm really proud of to like whenever we stretch like our $5 budget. I mean, some of them like that. Some of them end up being more expensive that you're like, you spend that much money on some of these, but you know.
Sometimes I've allegedly bought stuff and returned it the day after.
Joel does that all the time.
So maybe.
Luckily, some of the stores he goes to have pretty good return policies.
Yeah, they don't ask. One time some guy's like, why are you returning this? I go, I just don't need it anymore.
And they're like, okay.
They're like, okay, I hate my job. You can have-"
Yeah, sure. Not a problem.
I think, did she ask what was the last one? If you ever performed sick? Was that one?
Yeah.
You have, right? You had food poisoning.
I had food poisoning on one of the episodes, and I threw up as Alfred whenever we were different Batman characters. I went off screen, threw up, and then I came back on and finished the show because I'm a freaking gamer, dude.
I got sick and I had to leave the stage. I think it was like halfway through because I all of a sudden got hit with the cold. Or it wasn't even cold. It was like a flu because I was definitely throwing up. So yeah, that wasn't good. I passed out backstage.
Yeah, I've been lucky, man. I don't know, but every time I'm about to get sick, I think of you. I'm like, if Jeremiah could do it with food poisoning, I can do it.
That's what I tried to do, and I passed out.
No, yours was bad.
Oh.
Yeah, my buddy Rick Wood. One time, like I was texting him, I'm like, I feel sick. I don't know if I should go to this thing. He's like, better to be on sick on stage than at home. So I try to do that.
A
When
lot
I
of
can.
times adrenaline will save you, and then as soon as you step off stage, you're sick again.
Yeah.
But I've also gone on stage where that wasn't the case, and I just had like a runny nose for like 15 minutes on set, where it's like,
Yeah.
it's like
The
horrible.
whole front row is wet.
It's like, ugh. Yeah, it's like a Gallagher show.
Just
It's
like Gallagher.
Who's ready for comedy? Let's get into this final segment, Sax Talk.
Oh, Sax Talk.
All right, Sax Talk here live with Joelberg and Chroma Chris. They're going to share stories of a sexual encounter, and I'm going to play some sweet, sweet saxophone underneath. Joel, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So this is before I had the internet or anything like that. Porn was not readily available. VHS porn was still a thing. This is pre-DVD. And my brother had a roommate who, they lived in our garage together. And he had a milk crate full of good porn. Because before that, I had only seen like weird, like shitty stuff. And he had like whatever was the new releases of that year on VHS. And so one day when they were gone, I went into the garage. And I just stole a bunch of them. Because I was like, what's he going to do? Tell that I stole his porn? This is a perfect crime. He'll be too embarrassed. He's never going to tell anybody. Right, did my thing with the porn. And then a few weeks later, we were in the car. It was me, my mom, my brother, and this roommate. And out of nowhere, he said something about me stealing his porn in front of my mom. He said... He was like, yeah, he's like, something, blah, 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 steal my porn, right, Joel? And I didn't expect this guy to just not give a fuck about saying it in front of my mom or anything. And but it was such a weird moment that nobody said anything. It was quiet, and in the long run, I did get away with it. Yeah.
So you just
Hard times.
It was
Joel
a
Jimenez.
good video, man.
you just stole that porn, and then you got called out right in front of your mom. What'd your
Yeah.
mom say?
I don't even know if she heard it. It was like one of those things that was
Where you
so,
started sweating like
Yeah.
immediately, like,
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this guy just brought it up. I thought nobody would ever talk about this.
wow.
And he brought it up, and I think it was so weird that nobody ever talked about it again.
How old
So-
were you?
Oh, fuck. I don't know, man. 13, 14, maybe 15. But I still remember like what the cover looked like and everything. And the name of the video also. Never mind.
Do
Moving
you
on.
still have it? You said you stole it, right?
don't
You
know.
said you got away with it.
I probably threw it away once DVDs came out.
Classic mistake.
I'm 31.
Chris, do you want to share yours and I'll follow you?
I have one. It's kind of gross.
Do it, dude.
I love it. Do it.
All right.
I hope poop's involved.
No. So it was with an ex-girlfriend, and it was her birthday, and go give a little birthday riff. So we got back to my place, and then started doing the birthday stuff, you know. Started get. Oh, you looking good on your birthday, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, I think you should probably lay down on that bed. All right, so speeding it along, just about then.
I'm so sorry. that birthday song, I was trying to find it, and then I only found part of it. Keep going.
Okay, so yeah, so then we started doing our thing, and we know I don't have the best comedic timing, So at this point when things started to go south, I was I will say that I had the bird's eye view. Like she couldn't really see what was going on. And then I just so happened to see something that she didn't, and with my wanted to be a little silly. So I said, "Wow, looks like a murder scene down here. I can't unsee that." And so I have been scared of periods ever since. I ruined the relationship was over. Worst of all, I ruined my sheets.
So a girl, just to recap,
Yes.
had her period.
Yep.
Had her period, and you called it a crime scene?
It looked like a murder scene
Looked like a murder
because
scene.
there was blood. We should. Hey, do you guys like Joe's Pizza?
No. We're gonna get more in depth in this.
Okay.
So I just want the play-by-play to make sure that the listeners and viewers are clear.
Let's try to keep it clean.
So you
Like,
were
'cause
having
she couldn't.
sex. She had her period, and then you tried to make a joke out of it, basically.
Yes.
And she like was horrified and like so
Embarrassed.
embarrassed.
Yes.
Wow.
How do you feel about that?
I thought it was funny, and then I very quickly realized this is not funny. And then like I said, I've been scared ever since.
Hey, it's Tiffany. I can't believe you just told our period hookup story on the show.
Tiffany, I think it's over. Period.
Chroma Chris coming in hot one more time to close this. Chris Berg. Well, guys, this has been super fun. A great way to end the podcast with a period story of Chris trying to make a joke out of something, and then somebody it ruining their teenage years.
Jesus.
Oh, this wasn't teenagers.
How old were you? This was last week.
This was
Boom.
we'll say it was when we'll say like 3 years ago.
I think I was around. Anyway.
Hoorah!
Hey,
Wait, were you? Yeah. Oops, my bad. Nope, it was a long time ago.
Wow. So this was in Los Angeles. Wow.
Nope. Yeah. Okay.
I think on it. Whoa.
You think what?
We're getting a
phone-
last minute call.
a
Yeah,
last
yeah,
phone
yeah.
call?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello?
Hi, this is Tiffany's period blood. Is
Beg
say that
pardon?
again?
What did you say?
This is Tiffany's period blood. Is Chroma Chris there?
Oh my goodness. We've
Hey.
never had period blood call into the show before. This is disgusting.
I wish
It's a natural function.
I wish I
Alright.
could say it was good to see you.
Yeah, I think you need to grow some balls and jump in there next time.
Chris, response on that?
Wait, you say that again?
Grow some balls and jump in there.
It's a scary scene.
Oh, this is very strange. Chris's penis is calling into the show right now.
I got a bone to pick with him.
Hello? Chris's penis?
Yeah, what's up?
Wow. Your penis is cool, Chris.
Wow, that voice doesn't match your confidence at all. Yeah, they call me Shaft. I'm kind of glad that things didn't work out, actually, now that I hear your voice.
Anything to rebut that, Chris's penis?
I don't... I'll see you later. I say grow up, stop being a boy, and next time just dive right in.
All right.
Fuck me.
All right, Tiffany's period and Chris's penis. Wow, really glad we extended the show for that last call.
Good thing we ended on that one.
No, it's good.
We could edit it.
Chris, nope. Chris, it stays, my friend. Chris's penis and Tiffany's period blood is going to stay on this show because you never know who's going to call in on Jeremiah Wonders. Chris, plug yourself right now. Where can people find you on the socials, your music, all that stuff?
Yeah, just Chroma Chris on Instagram. And then also I'm all around LA playing shows with Drac and the Swamp Rats. We're going to be playing a few shows. I think we got one lined up. It's already November, right? So December, like the second week of December, I'll post something about it. You could check us out. I believe that's in San Diego. So.
Awesome. And Mr. Joelberg, you want to plug anything?
Yeah, I'm at Mostly Sorry on everything. And now I will
Always be.
I learned a real strong lesson today that maybe less is more, and sometimes you go that extra bit, and maybe I shouldn't have. And that's a good lesson for your life, you know. Maybe just don't do too much, and just end on the big laugh.
I mean, that's a good rule of thumb for all of us, my friend. I love doing Kill Tony with you guys every week. I love being able to work with you guys, come up with different characters, and I have a lot of great memories with you guys. And I'm excited to continue working with you guys and make more. And if you're watching this or you're listening to this, go check out get the Cat Burglar T-shirt available at jeremiahwatkins.tv/shop. Thank you guys so much for watching Jeremiah Wonders. Joelberg, Chroma Chris, Jeremiah Watkins saying
Jeremiah Wonders.